So we may want to have someone, you know, come on because someone has something else to say about Carol every time she pop up. So
Mm.
I may need someone else on that episode than
I don't
just
think you're
me.
gonna find too many people to be on that one
See what I'm saying?
though.
See? Did you
Yeah.
see people?
Mm,
What you been doing? Make your neck hurt so much?
nothing fun.
Uh, that's unfortunate. Let's change
Okay. It's,
that.
it's just because of the gym. But hello, everybody. Welcome back for another relaunch. I am Keenan.
What's up, y'all? I am LZ.
How are you doing this week, LZ?
I'm good. You know, this week went by really, really quickly. I've been like really busy. And I'm going to be dog sitting for a friend of mine. Um,
Ooh, what
Shout
kind
out
of
to my
dog?
friend Rob if you're listening out there. I actually don't really know what kind of dog, but
I'm not sure I know what kind of dog
if
it
if you are listening, Rob, your dog is kind of particular. So I'll be like spending the time with the dog and like being over there with it because I think that like it just needs the people. So dog
Okay.
sit, you know, got my locks up and my half up, half
I
down.
love a little half of a little
Is it
ear
giving Ariana?
Annie.
Is it
I
giving
love it.
Ariana?
I love it. Are you going to read some comic books to the dog?
You know what? That actually will be nice because I'm probably gonna take that time to just like read comics and just chill out. So
I
yeah.
love it. And with that, let's go ahead and get to the books of the week then. So first up on our list we have Nightwing 34, and this comes from Tom Taylor and Robbie Rodriguez. Now, this is all you, brother. Tell me what's going on in the world of Dick Grayson.
You know, one day, hopefully, we're gonna get you to cross over into joining the Nightwing books because while you admitted that he is the greatest hero, you don't really go up for him like that. But this issue was pretty good. We did lose Bruno Redondo on this one, but he's gonna be coming back. I think I don't know if it was this issue or the issue after where there's gonna be the entire issue is just like one long drawing, is one big
Mm,
really cool
like
and
a enough said issue.
kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
And it's just like one continuous long thing. So I'm really excited for that. But this issue we had Robert Rodriguez on art, and last issue Dick Grayson had revealed to everybody, you know, he was basically the Bruce Wayne of Bloodhaven, and that, you know, he was going to use his wealth and distribute it amongst back to the people, and he was going to also save it as Nightwing, and this was him setting his mark on Bloodhaven. This issue, we get him going out and saying to everyone, or at least is the inner monologue, which it's time to bring those back, to be honest, because I think that's
Agreed.
why this has been really good. Tom Taylor really nails like Dick Grayson's voice in his head as he's like flipping through the streets and jumping across rooftops and stuff, and he's just saying, I'm ready to take on Bloodhaven. I'm gonna be the protector of these
Hmm.
people. Then he gets a call from in his ear to meet him somewhere, and it's on his like the oracle frequency, and it
Hmm.
says like it's been compromised. He knows there's like something's going crazy with Barbara. We get a Batman team up because she wants him to meet him in Gotham, and he
Hmm.
gets to Gotham. Him and Batman team up, and they have like a rekindling. It's kind of cool. The action scenes and stuff feels very like Batman
Yeah.
and Robin. And we are leading into the magistrate is taking over in Gotham. Now, if anyone
Hmm.
remembers when we talked about Future State Nightwing,
Hmm.
and the Future State was a glimpse of the future, the magistrate was this like corporate authority that like took over in Gotham.
Yeah, I remember because they popped up in the Catwoman Future State books also.
Yeah, so I guess we're here now. They have taken over Gotham, and Nightwing is like, "What's going on here?" Batman is like, "Yeah, the magistrates here, been taken over. They've been like fighting some magistrate guys because there's a curfew, I guess, or they are against vigilantes. So they are fighting again. They have that dynamic duo fight, which is cool to see. Robbi Rodriguez's art is still pretty good. We've got some really cool action stuff in here. The
I feel
shot
like
of
that name sounds familiar. I feel like he might have done some Spider-Woman at one point in time.
Probably. Actually, yeah, that name does sound familiar. So they end up meeting at the spot where they were supposed to meet that Nightwing got in his ear, and they
Mhm.
get there, and it's Barbara Gordon, and she says that the entire Oracle system has been compromised, and Nightwing is like, okay, well, I'm gonna go out and like do my sleuthing thing and take care of this. And then we see Barbara Gordon turn around and say, no, I'm gonna go out and help you, and she's in her Batgirl costume. So,
Oh yeah,
um, you're not a fan of
I'm not
Barbara's
a fan of
Batgirl?
Batgirl. It was just I know that there's a lot of controversy around the Killing Joke and what
Hmm.
happened with it and putting Babs in the wheelchair, but I do think a lot of writers, Gail Simone is one of them, made Oracle into a very vital character. And like
Yeah.
one that had a lot of heart in the story of Babs in the wheelchair is one that like resonates with a lot of other people who might be in wheelchairs. And so I think anytime she kind of goes back to Batgirl, it's like a regression, especially when you have Cass, who has had like a much more well received tenure as Batgirl, or even a Steph, who is just like the plucky one, the fun. Like, there's no reason for Barbara Gordon to be Batgirl anymore, like at
Yeah.
all.
I'm hoping what's happening here is there's going to be some kind of story element that's going to make her become Oracle full time again, because it's been very wishy-washy. Like, after they tried to after they returned her legs to her like at the New 52, like 10 years ago or
I think
something
so.
like that,
Yeah.
and they made her Batgirl again. It was like, didn't they? I think they said there was experimental technology or something that they had on her spine
Hmm.
that kept it in place. So basically, there was always a back door for them to use if they ever want to
Yeah.
make her become Oracle again.
And
So it
even the
seems
Batgirl
like
of Burnside stuff, that
I
was
didn't
very
like any
much
of that.
that was very much a Stephanie Brown story. Okay.
Yes.
Like that was very much Barbara Gordon cosplaying as Stephanie Brown. Like her as Batgirl just doesn't make sense to me anymore.
Yeah. So what I'm getting the feeling that first of all, people leave Tom Taylor alone. He's not the one that like returned her legs to her. I've seen
Oh, they're
people
attacking Tom.
they attacking him and saying why is she walking again, and he's like, y'all, I didn't
It's
do
like
this, but I
she's
have
been
a
walking.
feeling. Yeah. I saw that they were a new Batgirls book was just announced
Yes, Becky Cloonan is writing it.
with Becky Cloonan writing. So, and it looked like Barbara was going to be Oracle again. So I'm assuming something is going to be happening in these Nightwing issues where she's probably going to just be Nightwing again.
Okay. What would you um what would you rate this issue?
I mean, honestly, this issue got like a 3 out of 5 for me. I would have preferred to stayed a little bit more in Bloodhaven
Hmm.
right after he just announced he was going to be protecting Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Is it also the whole Bruce Nightwing like team up fighting together? Is that something that fans still find exciting? I mean, because they do it all the time.
For me personally, no. Like it
Hmm.
looked cool. And then there's because like I kind of like the art, but like it's not
Hmm.
something I never really need. Like, oh yeah, remember them, the dynamic duo? They've done it
Okay.
already.
Okay. That makes sense.
So
I can agree with
yeah.
that. Okay. Next up on our list, ooh, a new number one. Ha 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 ha. A very special new number one, by the way, actually. It is Aquaman the Becoming number one, and this comes from Brandon Thomas, Diego Olortega, and we have colors from Adriana Lucas. Now, did you pick this up?
I did. I
Because
did.
it was about to
I did.
change the conversation if you didn't.
I did. I
Yay! I'm
did.
very
I
excited.
did.
Just from a
First, it was
personal,
only going to be out of support.
that's what
But
that's what
you
was
know what?
mad.
I was actually really into this story.
You I will say, just like really quick before we even get to the
Shout
issue,
out to
like
Jackson and his locks.
shout out to Jackson Fox. As a personal point, everybody knows everybody knows Aquaman is like my favorite character. Everybody knows like my affinity for Jackson, that world, and it was just like buying this issue. I got a little emotional. I was just
Yeah,
like, oh
I can see
wow,
it.
like this is like here, this is like such a moment. Like this little black gay boy is like becoming Aquaman, and he is in this book, and not only does he have his own little series coming out, but it's good.
Very.
It's
I was
good.
actually kind of surprised. I was like, oh, this is actually, damn. Keenan, keep
It's
on winning.
um so this issue starts out, it's basically a big entry into meeting Jackson. We see him in his day-to-day life. He's training with Aquaman, obviously, to become he's training with Arthur to become Aquaman. We see his relationships with Mara, his mom, the people of Amnesty Bay, some of the people in Atlantis, how he's dating now. It was just great. He comes off likable. He comes off
Oh my
confident.
gosh, his conversation with his mom when he came up from the surface after training with Arthur and whatever actually kind of
Mhm.
reminded me of the conversations I've had with my mom more recently. Like once my mom came around to me being gay and shit, and like
Mhm.
boys were like hitting on me,
Uh-huh.
whatever, I was like oblivious to it, and she would be like, "Oh, look at this!" Like, "Oh, that's
Boys
nice."
that knew you. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, and
So
it's
I thought
great.
that was really nice to see.
It's like such a great thing to see because his relationship with his mom has come a really long way. He and his mom obviously weren't like close yeah, they weren't close when he was created for the New 52 and brought back and like had the whole gay thing added on. They made it a point that his mom was kind of homophobic. She was like, "No, I'm not here for this." But then he showed up in Titans. He kind of ran away from her. She told him about Black Manta and her being Zebellion, and then Kelly Sue, when she brought them into her Aquaman run, she started to like rebuild that relationship and like have them repair a lot of the hurt and stuff. So to have them here now
Oh.
and like, okay, it's been a journey.
Wow.
That's why I be telling people pick up the Aquaman books, baby. It's some good stuff going on in there. And so to have them there now and they're out able to be out at dinner and like boys are hitting on him and she's like, okay. I also like the fact that she knew that the boy was like up to something because she
Up to
asked him, she's
something.
like, what you want with my son? We see Jackson like kind of bonding with the Titans again, which is nice to see that call back there and that he has those friendships. I really like the well that Aquaman was training him in Atlantis. Again,
That
like
was cool.
their own personal danger room, and he has Jackson going through this like apocalypse scenario where he's trying to get this crown, and he's got to swim through acid water, and he's got to go super fast, and all this stuff like that. Like that was hot to see that training being gone. This was just a really good first issue. Again, Brandon Thomas wrote the Future State Aquaman issues that featured Jackson, so to have him coming back to the character, it felt right. Like he is doing it. Like, and I have seen so
I
many
also
people.
did also kind of shout out to him for making sure that it showed that Jackson was single in this run, because I recall that didn't he have like a boyfriend or like some kind of Atlantean like
So
something?
in the Kelly Sue Aquaman run, he did a mission where he went to Zebul and he like
Hmm.
met this boy there, and him and the boy like flirted and kissed, and he gave him a communicator to be like, okay, we can talk in the future.
Okay.
So
Well, he
apparently
let the
he's
boy know he was leaving.
yeah, but apparently that boy is supposed to show up in this miniseries again.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw like the
They
artist when
always
he was doing like some concept art. They always come back. He was doing some concept art and he showed the boy in there, so that's gonna be fun to see. So I think it's gonna be like a mission with Jackson and Mara going to Zebul again. I also love again how they continue to bring up Jackson's Zebellian heritage and making sure that
Yeah.
that like he's not specifically Atlantean, he is from Zebul, but he's like getting along with the Atlanteans perfectly fine, which isn't something that always happens. It's interesting because it's going to be a separate dynamic, I feel like, from Arthur and his Atlanteanness and like how that's always like his other half. Now you're gonna have Jackson and Zebul, and hopefully this just gets us more into Zebul because Zebul was cool for the people who don't
Wait,
know.
is hydrokinesis like a Zebellian feat?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yeah,
because I know Tempest is also from
he,
Zebel.
he's got that. The mom. So
I
Jackson's
mean, no,
mom.
I know a little bit.
Jackson Zebul for the people
Okay.
who. And so that's where he gets all that from, and that's when she reveals it to him. His grandfather is actually like a famous poet or something in Zebul also.
Okay. I just
It's not.
noticed that like all of the people from Zebel can are also
Mhm.
hydrokinetic, so I wasn't sure if that was like a thing.
Well, so Tempest actually isn't hydrokinetic. He
Oh, is it
controls the
magic?
he has magic, but he controls the temperature of water.
Oh.
So he can make it like hot or freezing. Cause that so there was like one of the times when the Titans fought Dr. Light, that's like what Tempest did. He was like, there's water in your eyes. It's frozen now. You can't see.
Oh, why?
Hi.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's they got some good stuff going on. He's got his purple eyes and his magic. Um, but I thought this was a stellar first issue. Great action, great colors. It was again, this is shaping up to be a definitive coming of age story for Jackson. Highly
Yeah.
recommend it to anybody. It's only going to be 7 issues, I believe, so it's like perfect time to get into it. I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm excited to see like the mystery at the end. Jackson is trying to train in the well, and someone comes out and attacks him, and then they blow the spot up. And apparently, he's attacked by all these Atlanteans at the end, who sees that he has committed some crime against them. So he's obviously being set up. All the heroes get their classic setup story, so it'll be fun to see how this one goes. 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it a 4 out of 5. I actually really enjoyed this. I don't really read a lot of Aquaman books like that. I was really gotten into him actually with the New 52, I think, with Jeff
It's
Johns'
also a
run.
good time. He's one of the
It was good.
He was one
Yeah,
of the who made a New 52 unscathed.
he
So
did. It was actually a
shout out.
really good run, and I liked it. But Jackson was nowhere to be found in this. So like my only real introduction to him was some random panels I've seen of him during Brightest Day, and we were like reading him in that crossover, and also just like Calderon from Young
From the Young
Justice. But these are also very two different characters.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think anyone kind of going into this looking for Calderon should know that this is not that.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, but I'm also very appreciative of how they've managed to differentiate the two characters and make them both still very likable for different reasons.
hmm
So
Yeah.
it's
I also
pretty
liked
cool.
how they explained them having two Aquamans. Like, when he came up from Amnesty Bay, it was when he spoke to the cops that were trying to arrest the villain that was like some random
Yeah.
villain.
Then,
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, Arthur is going to be down there, so like I'm the Aquaman for right now." And I like that they were like showing that the both of them can exist.
And again, so the cop who he was talking to, also that's someone was from Kelly Sue's run. So it's like, again, I love that Brandon is, while he's introducing us to Jackson, he's also still really building up on all of these things that already exist and all these characters and relationships that he's had. And he's just strengthening them, making them more important to him and like who he is as Aquaman and like his journey as Aquaman, how it's different from Arthur's. Excellent. It's
Very
excellent.
into it. Yeah.
Um, Pick it up, everybody. Next up on our list is Moon Knight #3, and this comes from Jed McKay and Alessandro Cappucio with colors from Rachelle Rosenberg. Now, I know you haven't picked this up yet. I'm not even gonna ask, but I will say that I'm not gonna lie. So the first 2 issues of this Moon Knight run, I thought they were fine, but I wasn't like completely sold on them. This one though, issue #3, I'm here.
You hooked
I'm
in now? Okay.
absolutely, I'm absolutely here. We have Mark. He's back with his therapist. He's talking about some of the stuff that happened in the last issue with the guy who he drove crazy because he was
Shout out to
controlling.
therapy.
Okay, it works.
Okay.
So I might have a problem because I realize a lot of my favorite characters go to therapy quite often.
There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. We all need to
Or
go.
they need it. Or
I'm a
they
huge
need
advocate
it.
for it. Well,
Um, right.
some of mine.
And so he's with his therapist, and he's just talking about like the guys and all the stuff, how he feels like somebody's coming after him. He's not sure what to do. He has this little vampire girl who's been working at his midnight mission place, and she's like, when we first met you, you killed 2 vampires, and then you found me and my friends in the back who were also vampires, but you didn't kill us. And he's like, well, I realized I made a mistake, and like you guys should be able to live on your own, and you're not dangerous, blah blah blah. But one of the friends of hers, he was attacked, and he had like moon crescent darts all in his body, and so she's like, are you attacking us now? And he's like, well, I'm pretty sure you already know it wasn't me, but you still gotta ask. And he's like, I respect that about you. So he's like, he goes to go find out. I don't know if you remember, I told you earlier in the book he met a doctor, and the doctor is also like a follower of Khonshu. And so it turns out this doctor was the one who attacked the vampire. He's got on his own like kind of Moon Knight outfit. I
Oh.
forget. Hold on, I'm gonna look up what he calls himself. He calls himself like Moon Fist or something like that. The Dark Fist. Something corny, but it like works. But then like they
Yeah.
basically kind of just get into this long drawn out fight. Hunter's Moon. That's what he calls himself.
Okay.
Um, They get into this long fight, which is like drawn beautifully.
You went straight retro with Dark Fist. Moon Punch or whatever.
Moon Fist. Oh, those be the ones. Those be the ones that stick.
They do.
The hot names. And so they get into this long fight, but like while they're fighting, Hunter's Moon like makes a comment. He's like, you fight like an animal. There's no beauty in it. He's like, what's going on? You're supposed to be one of Khonshu's warriors. He didn't gift you with like the knowledge of all the previous Moon Knights that he's had, or like all the previous avatars. Like you should be able to use all of those skills and like move a lot differently. And so Mark's like, no, all Khonshu ever gave me back was my miserable life and like made me crazy. And
oh no.
Yeah. And so the guy, Hunter's Moon, kind of like beats him back a little bit, and then he goes after the vampire kids. And so like when he's after them, finds himself with all these people who Mark has started to befriend. And he's like, oh, look, he's already got his own congregation. He's like, what it is about him. But Moon Knight comes in real quick, beats him over the head with a bat. And it's a very hot scene. He's like, yeah. Okay. He's like, don't mess with people.
I'm with it. I'm about that extra.
He's like, I might not have like all the knowledge of all these other Moon Knights with me. He's like, but I have these people. They are here. Don't mess with them. He doesn't kill him. He's like, and that just lets you know that like, he's like, that's not who I am or what I do anymore. He sends him on his way. And I think that's kind of what this was needing. Like just to remind, I feel like there's just been a lot of everybody else, and like we finally got a little bit more of Mark here, and then we kind of built up on the story of actually Khonshu. We've always seen that there have been previous Moon Knights for the Moon Knight fans who read the books. There've always been like previous avatars of Khonshu who have done other things, but this whole not thinking that like they're connected, kind of like Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yes.
You can kind of pull that knowledge and skill and stuff from them. Like having that aspect is something that's really cool, and I think they've tried a lot of times to tie Moon Knight into the supernatural realm, and it doesn't always like come off the cleanest. I think this is the easiest way to do that.
Okay. I've always just assumed he was tied to that realm, but I didn't know how it was like actually done, because I don't do all
that. He came in originally as a supernatural character, and again, like the whole thing with Khonshu and the Avatar and bringing him back to life, like that was supposed to play a part in it. But a lot of writers tend to leave that out, and they go more of the mercenary street guy, just like kills people. He's crazy, it's brain damage, so they take him away from that. But this was good. Again, I feel like it finally clicked with me. I'd give this a strong 3.5 out of 5. I feel like the show's coming soon.
It is. You keep winning.
Get ready.
You keep winning. Ready. I saw some leaked.
I saw that too.
Stills, yeah.
I don't care. Like there were people complaining, but I was like, oh, that just lets me know you've never lived your life, because it's hot. It's hot. I was like, he wears what's an Egyptian god. What do you expect him to look like?
Right.
I'm ready. That's all I'm saying. All right. Next up on our list is The Death of Doctor Strange #1, and this comes from Jed McKay and Lee Garbett with the colors from Antonio Fabela. Did you read this?
Now you know. I was not trying to read no magic. Well, I thought about getting it though, because I heard some good things, and it's
don't like magic, y'all. But I feel like you all have been listening to the show long enough to know.
I don't know.
Well, I picked this up. So I wasn't planning to. No, I was always planning to pick this up. Let me not tell that lie. And because I just want to see who the new Sorcerer Supreme is going to be.
Yeah.
But this was like actually really good, like excellent.
Okay.
Like to the point where I feel like they should have been letting Jed McKay write Doctor Strange as soon as he got hired, or like walked in the Marvel door. Because I've always kind of found it hard to get into Doctor Strange. I think when they talk about him being the Sorcerer Supreme and the protector of all magic, it gets kind of vague. Like, what does all magic mean? Like, is he protecting magic of other cultures? Is he doing magic of just like other realms? Like, how does he determine like what works? It just never really works. This is the first time I've ever felt like they've really let you know not only why Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme, but like what the Sorcerer Supreme does. There's an entire page where he's explaining to the Strange Academy kids about what he does and how he protects the barrier that stops all these magical realms from like merging into Earth and like just destruction and all these bad things happening. And I was like, oh, that's something that's so easy and simple and makes so
Yeah.
much sense. And it's like, why have I never heard this before? Why am I always hearing about like he's protecting magic? Like, what does that mean? Because everybody has magic. They got their own protector. So it's like, what is this Sorcerer Supreme really doing? Another interesting thing about this book was that he has gotten
Wait a
back
minute.
into
Didn't
search.
they? That was from the movie.
What's that from the movie?
Wasn't that explained in the movie?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't really like the Doctor Strange movie, so I didn't pay attention to it.
Because didn't they have
Or remember too
Doctor
much of it.
Strange and Wong, like Wong was showing him the different doors of the different dimensions, and he showed that like how like from where they were, it like protected all of the magic like in the world or whatever, and like the Sorcerer Supreme could connect to it all. I think that's from the movie.
Shout out to
Somebody
the
out there correct
MCU.
me.
Shout out to the MCU. Sometimes what they do
Hey.
helps.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing about this is Doctor Strange's gotten back into surgery. And
dope.
so like there's like a couple of pages narration boxes. You just said it with the Nightwing series. This book is full of narration boxes. And when I tell you, I feel like so many books that we have been reading over the last few years, especially post-pandemic, or that we've kind of felt like iffy on, it would have been greatly saved if they had narration boxes. Please bring narration boxes back. It is okay to have them. You really
Yes.
get that like introspective
Hold my
character
hand.
work.
Tell me what they thinking.
Okay, please tell me what they're thinking. But he just like has this whole spot about like getting back into surgery and how he loves it, but also how he feels like he's a better surgeon now because he has been the Sorcerer Supreme and like he's had magic and he's like, yes, I have to save these lives. He's like, but I have another patient also, and that's like the magical world. Um, then we see a couple of cameos. Strange Academy kids, Magic from the X-Men shows up. She's a teacher. No, because some demons from Limbo have broken out and they're attacking the academy.
Well,
So, because she doesn't control anything over there, and
sorry she's not a cop.
she should be a ruler. But guess she can't be anything these days except for a bus. But nonetheless, Doctor Strange like goes about his day after he helps Magic fight off her demons. He goes to help some other magic people. He's chilling in his house, and then someone breaks into the house. No, someone shows up to his door. He apparently knows who it is. We never see who the person who is, but they end up like attacking him and killing him. They stab him, and like as he dies, there's this narration, this page of like everybody kind of reacting. Everybody starts to feel like the barrier coming down, like something big has just happened. So we get like shots of
like all the magic people.
Yeah, like even Thor. So then we get back to the Doctor Strange's house. We see like everyone's there. Bats is his ghost dog, who like is one of the most enjoyable characters ever. Doctor Voodoo's there. There's this girl who's been there, Wong. They all are over Strange's dead body. And then Mordo comes in, and Wong is automatically like, "You did this."
Did they make him look a little bit more like the movie?
He's still very much a white man.
Okay.
And Wong immediately attacks him, and Mordo's like, "Look, I want Strange dead as much as anybody." He's like, "But if I killed him, guarantee I'd be letting you know that I killed him." He's like, "I want to kill him." He's like, "I want to figure out who did this also." So as they're trying to do that, so throughout the issue, Doctor Strange has been talking about this guy who's basically trying to figure out a way to live forever. And Strange mentions how he was trying to do it also. He didn't figure it out, but when he was younger, he figured out a way to do something else. And so basically another version of himself that he created and was locked in stasis pops up. And this version was created specifically for if Strange died. And so when he comes out, he's like, okay, he's like, if I'm here, something bad is going on. Let's figure it out. And the issue ends.
Okay, so he's gonna be figuring out his own murder,
basically. And I guess like while they do that, we'll also figure out like who the new Sorcerer Supreme is gonna be. And I think I was originally thinking it was Clea, because throughout the book, for those who don't know, Clea is Doctor Strange's girlfriend, and she gets like, he's looking at pictures of her and thinking about her a lot.
The daughter of Dormammu, right?
Yes.
Oh, like the Dark Dimension
Or
or something?
somebody bad. She's like,
Yeah.
and he's like looking at pictures and stuff of her a lot. So I'm like, oh, Clea's about to pop back and she's gonna be the new Sorcerer Supreme. But now, kind of like as I'm thinking about it and I'm like going back through the issue as I talk about it, I think it might be this little girl who he's been like mentoring since the Jason Aaron.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah. But we'll see. It's not gonna be Magic though.
That's fine.
I would give. That's she. I would give this issue a
Captain. Not too many people of those.
Mine are.
Captain and Sorcerer Supreme of Limbo. She's busy.
But I would give this issue a nice little. I'd give this a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a nice introductory issue. I think for those who don't know Strange, this is a way to get into him. Again, I have never really felt like I understood what the purpose of the Sorcerer Supreme was until this issue. So shout out to Jed McKay for that. The art is good. Magic is fantastic. The act, not the character. So it's a lot of good things about this. Pick it up. I mean, I'm really excited for the rest of this event, and I'm definitely going to be like, I might get some of the tie-ins also.
Oh, it's got tie-ins too? Oh, wait. I think I might get the tie-ins because I think there's an X-Men tie-in. The Death of Doctor Strange X-Men.
They're like teaming up with Black Knight, right?
Black Knight? Yeah.
I
may pop in then too.
I have to get that too. And I'm gonna get the Blade tie-in. Apparently Strange Academy is tie-in. Strange Academy has been like a weird book for me because I never was sure if it was in canon or not. But now that the characters are popping up all over the place, I guess it is. But it was always weird because Enchantress has 2 kids in that book.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, she got sons.
That would be so random.
It is. One of the boys who's like talking to Strange, she like tells him that he feels like something's weird because he is Dormammu's son. And he's like, usually he can always feel what his dad is doing, but he's like, now he doesn't feel anything. Which could be a result of our next book, Guardians of the Galaxy number 18, from Ewing and Juan Frigeri with Federico Blee. And this was the last Annihilation finale and also the last issue of this series, which I didn't know.
So sad. I didn't know that either until basically seeing amongst the cosmic community, everyone wondering if it was going to be canceled. But that had been kind of wondering, we talked with each other, and they had been wondering for a while, like it hadn't been in any of the solicits past 18. So we've seen it. This was going to be the last one.
Which is a little upsetting to me. Al Ewing, everybody knows this is the Al Ewing stand account. I think he writes great books, but I feel like a lot of times they can feel unfinished, and because so many of his books get caught up in these tie-ins. Last Annihilation might have been like a tie-in created by the Guardians books itself, but like I think about earlier, we had Empire, we had King in Black. I think about other books he's written, like Ultimates and Captain America and Mighty Avengers, and how they get wrapped up into things like Civil War II and Time Runs Out. And it's just like, please stop making this man write about other stuff.
Did that ever happen in The Immortal Hulk?
No.
That's why it was good. That's why it was good. And why it got to last.
Let me look at that also. But I know that
I look back on this run and like I think that this issue, obviously everybody knows I'm the cosmic guy, I like this stuff. And this issue was good and because it's Al Ewing, but I will say this run as a whole was kind of underwhelming because this is now issue 18 and we only got to this part of the story that I liked where it was becoming like, we're the Guardians of the Galaxy now. It's this big team, rotating cast or whatever we're going out doing and guarding the galaxy. That just started in issue 13. So like
that's all been about like Last Annihilation stuff, pretty much.
And so that means like everything before that was filled with like 2 tie-ins. I think Empire was one, and King in Black. So like
we had a crossover with Sword.
It's been kind of like underwhelming because he hasn't really got to like tell a full
cosmic
story. And the cosmic side of Marvel right now is lacking. There's barely anything going on.
I wouldn't know about that, but I know that I wanted more Star-Lord stuff. So like I'm still crossing my fingers that there's gonna be a Star-Lord solo because Ewing basically reintroduced Peter, Jason, Quill to the world, and like got all the storyline stuff fixed up. He's added all these new powers. He's added all this new history, and now it's just gone.
You know what? Maybe underwhelming isn't the right word because looking at this run in whole and as a whole, he did do a lot with it. He like revamped Star-Lord
Mm-hmm.
and um reestablished the whole Gamora Nova, that whole thing. He
Had the two moon
used
dragons.
the two moon dragons and like also brought them back to the forefront and like fixed whatever kind of continuity issues they had. And now they're just like a little happy married lesbian couple. And Wiccan was involved in this, showed even more of his man being like the king of space and all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of stuff in it that was done. He brought back Quasar, both Quasars.
Yeah,
he found like a loophole to do that thing. So like,
although I feel like he didn't really like the girl Quasar.
I don't think so.
She wasn't really like that big of a deal in this book, but yeah, like it just really feels unfinished, and so like it's kind of upsetting. I'm really hopeful that I don't know, either maybe we'll get another relaunch of the Guardians book, or he again. I mean, I personally only care about
though, because like,
well, that's what I was gonna say.
Like 8 in the last
that's what I was gonna say.
6 hours.
I really just want to
they relaunching again right now.
Like, I actually don't care if the Guardians relaunches. I just want a Star-Lord solo book. I don't care about all these other people.
You know, with the way that the Guardians are now with the MCU, and I hate to say it, that like the MCU does influence the way comics go. The Guardians are kind of ending. They might just focus more on like a Star-Lord solo instead of having to get this, that MCU iteration of the Guardians together.
He's got a video game coming out soon.
That's also T. Yeah. Are you excited for that?
I am. I am.
And then, like, I'm sure you are, because you can only play a Star-Lord.
You can only play a Star-Lord, but then like the Twitter account for it has been doing videos and stuff, and like the gameplay looks really good. They showed some costumes. One of the costumes that you can get is like Star-Lord's classic blue and white costume, and I love the way that suit looks.
Yeah. I saw the little clip that they put out where they showed all of them changing into their different costumes, and I said, oh, they even put the most recent one with his like a little like orange chevron on his jacket. Yeah.
And then they were saying how like you can, even though you don't necessarily play with the other characters, you can still control their actions, and like what you do, you can still interact with them throughout the game. Like I saw one clip of like Star-Lord and Gamora jumping on the wall, and she's like throwing him up on the other side. I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. It looks fun.
Yeah. So anyway, back to this issue. I did think that like the issue was good. Overall, they pretty much had Doom cast a spell. He uses Doombot to like absorb some magic from Dormammu. And Rocket got a bunch of Mysterium from the X-Men and Sword, and they made this giant bullet, made a gun, shot Dormammu, they won. And that was pretty much the end of it. And pretty iconic. They also showed that there was that Skrull cult that was shown in the beginning. Turns out that Doom kind of helped orchestrate that because he needed some help getting that Dormammu magic because a reckoning is coming, which now obviously to me that instantly makes me think of Fantastic Four: The Reckoning, which I'm assuming Doom will obviously take part in. It's Doom.
Magic is setting the tone for the girls right now, okay? What would you guys be doing without us? Let me go talk.
Being peaceful.
Let me go talk to the supernatural community and see how they're doing, because it sounded good on our end. What would you rate this issue?
I really liked the art, and it was a solid finale, I guess, to the series. Although I still felt like it could have kept going, even though we just got started. But this issue, was a solid finale for it. I would give it like a 4 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5.
I think I'd go for a 3.5. Like, I agree. I think it was solid, but just because of the way things went, the run itself, the tie-ins, it feels a little unfinished, and so I feel like that takes away some of the enjoyment out of it, because it's like, oh, now the book is over, but there's still so many other things that we haven't touched on or gotten to yet. So we'll see what the future holds for the Guardians characters. Hopefully something good.
Yeah.
Mainly Star-Lord.
Let's wake up that cosmic side. Oh, maybe he's gonna get the keys to that. Maybe him and Kieran Gillen with like the Eternals or something are gonna do.
Even that, I feel like they've kind of been moving him more to the like magic side also. Like all the
I
stuff
know.
the astrology, and then you got the like magicians of
It's over there. That's fine.
And before we get to the last book on our list, I do want to talk about, just shout out a couple of other things that came out this week. Gamma Flight number 5 had its final issue, also another book that Ewing was writing with Chris Frazier. Titania and Creel, that was a really nice ending. X-Men Onslaught Revelations came out, written by Simon Spurrier and Bob Quinn. I honestly didn't care for that issue. But I know it's getting a part 2, so we'll wait to see how that tells. My mood might change on that. And then Catwoman 35 came out, and that's a Ram V classic, who just announced that he's going to be leaving the book soon. Yeah, so that's going to be really sad. I won't have to read Catwoman anymore. Well, I might. I've kind of realized that I do like Catwoman a little bit, so we'll see how that
She's
goes.
fun. I always figured she was in your brand.
Yeah, she's hot. She's a hot girl.
Mm-hmm.
And our final book on our list is X-Men number 3, and this comes from Gerry Duggan and Pepe Larraz. And I think David Curiel did the cover.
Speaking of hot girls.
Your girl's clicking up.
Yes.
Your girl is clicking up. I will give it to her.
This will always be a reminder that sometimes a little patience goes a long way. If people remember him, is on Colors.
Yeah.
Marte Garcia? Oh, I like him.
Yeah.
He's dope.
Dream Team.
Yeah, seriously. This is the Dream Team. I feel like I was just saying that, sometimes patience is very important. People remember when I first started this podcast with you, things were clicking down for me. They were clicking down for me with but
we back up.
We're back up. It takes a little time to hold it out, but we're back up. And this issue, I don't even know if people remember when I did a panel on Exodus or if it was my Acolytes relaunch, but I said that I wanted for the Acolytes to face the Human Evolutionary because I think he's a fun villain. And what are we getting in this?
The High Evolutionary.
High Evolutionary. Sorry, not Human Evolutionary, because
I
don't know.
I don't really know. He's kind of been weird to me all my life.
Although I will say that reading this has made me realize that I do like the mad scientist villain.
Trope.
That trope villain. I don't like them if they're going to rely on clones, but if they're like, I don't know, using science to like make some new experimental thing, yeah, I like that. Because again, it gives my hero something to fight.
I can see that. That works for you. You like a lot of like super powered characters, so that would make sense.
Yeah, I need them to be able to punch something or blast something, and you can't do that to every person. So, but we get into this issue, and the High Evolutionary appears, and he walks out with Luminos, which some people may remember is the like clone. I don't even know what to call her, but the High Evolutionary created her with the powers of the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
I was about to say, she popped up in like Uncanny Avengers, didn't she?
That's when she was created, when her first appearance.
I was looking at, I was like, she looks very familiar, but I wasn't sure, and I was not going back to read Uncanny Avengers, so.
No, that was not that great. So that was the time when they did the whole, you're not only are you not mutants, you were like experimented on by the High Evolutionary.
Yes.
So, and then they showed that like, I created the Maximoff twins. I also created this girl. And so this girl is back around now. And we get into this conflict with a bunch of his like experimental creatures. I do get some funny parts with Cyclops getting into a headlock with one. And he's like, you're right where I want you. I thought that was really fun. Cyclops has had a really kind of fun showcasing here. He hasn't been like the very sad boy in a corner.
Good. He's living his best life.
He is. I will say though, great showcasing of powers for Sync in this issue.
Yeah,
Like
I
this
would
is
say
kind of
this
Sync's issue.
series. I will honestly say this book so far has been like Sync's.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
I don't know if I see it yet.
I like the powers.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I like the powers. And honestly, he's like taking Rogue's spot because like they need to just
Rogue did nothing.
No. Why don't they just like, permanently make
like,
powers?
She literally like threw a punch, and then I don't think we saw her till the end of the issue.
No. Yeah, so I feel like her spot's been taken now by Sync.
Yeah.
Who can kind of do her powers more effectively. So I hope that like, I don't know, they give her something else to do.
We'll see.
Otherwise, she's just gonna be sitting there. But yeah, I really enjoyed this issue. Third issue for me. So like, I'm not the kind of person where like everything needs to be like great right up front. I'm still like riding along with the story. The High Evolutionary wanted some of Sync's blood because he said that you guys have been doing these big things on Mars. Like I just want to experiment or whatever and prolong. He wants to do something that would get rid of humanity and like change them basically. But he would stop all the fighting if he got some of Sync's blood, and he got some of that, or Sync gave it to him anyway, actually. So that's obviously going to come back and bite you because it always does. And by the end of it, we see the original kind of villain. I can't remember his name right now, but he is being told about I'm sorry, no, it wasn't the villain. Gyrick, the reporter. Henry Gyrick is meeting up with someone who it doesn't show their face and gives him the tea on Cyclops, how look at his dead body, but you just met with him the other day. I can't wait to see your story about mutant resurrection. So
yeah, that part I thought was very exciting.
Become like major news now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that portion of the story rolls out. Like that was really good for me. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. I liked all of the like team dynamics and stuff. I know that people, Jean fans anyway, are always like wanting her to be big and bombastic with her powers. But I think people have to realize that like sometimes there's power and subtlety. So like she was even on this ship like holding back all of the animals and containing a bomb. So I think that like, and keeping the entire team like psychically linked up. So sure, there wasn't some big splash page of her deconstructing everybody, but like I like the subtleties in their powers and stuff. So I think it's great. I would have given this issue a 3.5 out of 5 for me.
Agreed on all fronts. A lot of solid stuff there. I do agree that the team dynamics are really fun to see, and it's great. It's interesting. Again, Rogue really wasn't there. I think Laura Wolverine is still kind of off. I feel like
she's not doing a lot.
But again, and I feel like the first 3 issues have really been the Sync show. So my theory is still that this is going to be 12 issues or so, at least, before 12 to 15, before we get some type of reboot. So we'll see how the rest of the team kind of comes in and makes their mark. But I'm enjoying it so far. It's big superhero fanfare. Duggan does that very well. It looks great.
Beautiful, yeah.
I'm here.
The X-Men are here. Shout out to this for Polaris being on this team, because this is really like boosting her profile. So
it has. I love it. I see so much fan art of her now. I've never seen this fan art of Polaris.
Y'all weren't going up for my girl before. Y'all weren't down in the trenches from the beginning. But I appreciate. Come on and join. There's green wigs in the back for everybody.
Shout out to Leia Williams for bringing Polaris out of that dim light.
We're not giving her any of that. Absolutely not. Shout out to the fans for voting, putting her on the X-Men.
All right. Well, those are the books of the week. Let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back for another panel.
Let's do it.
The girls be judging you when you're on camera. Okay.
That's true. That's very true.
from some of my friends who listen. They were like, "Oh, Keenan, I'm listening to your podcast, or I'm watching the YouTube video." Specifically, those who are watching the YouTube portion of it, and they'd be like, "You look tired." And I'd be like, "What?"
They tried it.
They'd be like, "Are you tired? Did you get enough sleep?" I'd just be like, "Wow, okay."
I'm tired of this disrespect. That's what I'm tired of.
I mean, we're not talking for a few days now.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to another relaunch. So this week we won't be having a middle segment, a panel section, because we're going to be doing a little bit of some recalibrating here and some exciting new stuff coming out. We're going relaunching. Boom. We're going to be giving more like character discussions and diving into stuff. We've noticed that the listeners and just through feedback from you guys that people really like listening to us deep dive talk about characters a lot and doing specific kind of rereads and stuff. So we're going to like really try to get this organized and really showcase the kind of stuff that everybody likes to hear and like listen to. We're also going to really try to get more guests on the show, especially for specific characters because, child, we aren't the biggest fans of all of them. So we may want to have someone, come on, because someone has something else to say about Carol every time she pop up. So I may need someone else on that episode than just me.
Don't find too many people to be on that one though.
See what I'm saying? See? Did you see people talking about her in What If? She didn't even do anything. Well, and this time it's Brie Larson, but like.
Poor Brie Larson.
They really did. Like, well, no, I think she's a great Carol, personally.
She really is. I don't disagree with you there.
I think she's great. She don't bother nobody. She be in her own corner, not bothering us all. So.
No.
So, exactly. So I think that we're definitely going to need some extra guests or something on those episodes. So we're definitely going to be reaching out to people to see who can kind of come on, as well as getting more creators and everything on, because we definitely want to showcase all of the talent out there that we see, and we want comics to be great because we love it. So yeah, we're going to be doing some really dope stuff, some debates coming up. This month we'll definitely be having our first one. Some fun characters we'll be debating both on Twitter with Twitter Spaces, so as you guys can kind of chime in and listen to how we are debating these two characters. We'll have it judged to kind of like keep everything fun, and we keep everything fun and shady. So the first one should be a lot of fun, debating these characters on who would win. We see those who would win tweets and debates and stuff all the time, so there's a lot of fun to kind of get into. So, and I have my hands on who I think would win, and I'm sure Keenan has his, and I know y'all have them too. So like, can't wait to get into it with y'all.
It's gonna be a good time. I mean, my character's gonna win for the debate portion of it.
I don't know.
For me, Iska, because I don't lose.
I mean, we get to that Betsy and Polaris one, and it's I don't know. I know. It's light work. It's light work,
It's easy. Remember when she killed Magneto? That was a moment.
That must have been a long time ago, since that was when she was using her powers.
I do miss when she used her powers. But and it's crazy because I was like going back through Excalibur the other day, and I was just like, I realized there's a lot of little quiet character moments in there, but I was like, you really would not know that any of these characters have abilities because they rarely ever use them. I think Betsy has genuinely used her telekinesis twice. Once when she lifted Rogue up when they were getting attacked on the boat, and then once when she used it to like smack Jamie in the head.
That don't even count.
And I was just like, wow. And I was just like, but then I also thought about they don't really fight in Excalibur like that.
That's also, well, they should, but they don't. No.
They should.
It seems like sometimes there's fighting going on around them, right? They are in skirmishes and stuff.
there's like big skirmishes, like big splash pages of them like doing stuff, but we don't have like any intricate like one-on-one battles or like long form like fights that are happening. Which, man, I just miss those in comics in general. Like, everybody knows I'm an action girl. I don't hide that in the slightest. But not every comic writer writes action very well.
Yeah.
And then you do have some who can write it well, but like every artist can't convey it that great. And that's one of the things I kind of think Excalibur suffered from. That little like action piece is like really missing from it to like ramp it up and get you excited for it. And like, yeah, I can't wait to see them do that. But
I
I
mean,
don't
how you
know.
gonna be a Betsy book and not have no action in it? I mean,
It's crazy because a lot of people have asked. They're like, oh, they thought Betsy like lost her fighting abilities when she got back to her original body. But I was like, no, she's been fighting the whole time. She was fighting in Disassembled. She was fighting in the Age of X-Men. Like, that was the whole point of the pink suit. It was like the combination of the fighter girl back in her OG body. Um, Even here in Excalibur, like she's gotten in some skirmishes where she's like sword fighting and things like that. So she has to have some type of skill. But I don't know. The line's relaunching soon, so maybe
the
we'll see
lines
it.
are relaunching soon. It may be relaunching too over at Marvel. Did you see that? Like, there was this big lawsuit coming out that a lot of
Oh,
the heirs of the characters creators were
mm-hmm.
able to like put in to have their rights returned back to the estates. So like Ditko's estate did it. I think Stan Lee's estate also was in it. So like Doctor Strange and the Fantastic Four, some of the X-Men,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man would go back. The rights anyway would no longer be owned by Marvel as work for hire. They would go back to the original creators and like their estates if they are no longer alive. So personally, give it to them.
I
I'm
support.
always, of course.
If there's one thing we're always going to agree on, it's like the creators and like the people who have like made these characters and these stories that we love like deserve their flowers and their money. And
Absolutely. And
like
that's the only thing
give
that
them
would
their
happen
money.
from them winning this case. Like legally, all that would happen is they own the rights to, let's say Ditko gets it, now he gets the rights to Spider-Man. You mean to tell me he's gonna tell them like no, if they ask him to use it for a movie, to
Like
pay
these
him
movies
like
that are making
millions of
$1 billion?
dollars?
Of
No. I
course
saw
we're
people
still gonna
being
get
like
those
kind of
movies.
upset or like scared that like, oh, this is the end of it all, but like, come on, y'all. All they're asking is like, hey, instead of like the $200 you gave me when I created this character and like maybe the few $1,000s of residuals I get, I would like a little bit more
Who was it? I forgot
than
which
just a
creator who
thank
said
you
it.
at the credit scroll at the end of the movie that made you $1 billion.
A thank you and a $2,000 check for this movie that just made you over $1 billion for a
Wild.
story that I wrote or a character that I created or that like my
All off
dad
my
created.
head, yes.
Baby, yeah, give them
Mm-mm.
their things, give them their coins, and hopefully, I mean, and heaven forbid if something happens and they don't win, at least it might give the big two a kick in the pants to really start to like pay these creators what they deserve and give them their
Mhm.
worth and give them what they need because again, they deserve it. These stories, I've been reading comic books since I was 8 years old, and some of the things that I have seen, created, and come across my mind have been blown. They deserve it.
They deserve it. And a lot of these stories have like impacted me so much in my life, and I'm sure others as well. And like, so just give them what they owed. I mean, come on.
Give
I
them
mean,
what they
honestly, like Infinity War made how much money?
child.
Endgame made how much money? Like, give the person that created Thanos like a
Hmm.
cut.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine? Let me go create somebody really fast. Right?
Okay.
Because that's where the money is, baby.
Exactly. Well, hey, you never know. You could be creating something that's great. Just gotta put it out there.
I
But I
was gonna
think
say,
that like exactly. I think that we're getting ready to into some exciting times, both like on the comic side and over here at AR. So thanks everybody
yeah.
for sticking with us, laughing with us, and
Hmm.
really enjoying this comic book stuff. It's been a wild year. Like now we've been doing this now for a year, which is wild that time flew by like that.
It did. 52 episodes.
Mhm.
53? Is this 53?
It's 53, yeah. So this is like
Iconic. Iconic.
legends in the making. All right, let's get up out here. You can check us out on Twitter at Another Relaunch. You can also find us on Instagram at Another Relaunch, as well as on YouTube if you want to watch it, Another Relaunch TV. You can find me on any social media platform that I'm on at Uncanny LZ. Keenan, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Keenan Lance. You know there's an underscore at the end.
Boom. All right, y'all, let's get up out of here.
All right.